Every problem is an opportunity to create something new. Muniba Mazari's speech. Life has a peculiar way of presenting us with moments that feel like the universe is testing our very resolve. In these instances, we discover that our greatest transformations often emerge not from our victories, but from the fragments of what we thought was broken beyond repair. Distinguished guests, existence often resembles an endless cascade of challenges, each varying in magnitude from trivial inconveniences to earth-shattering upheavals. During these trials, we instinctively voice the familiar lament, "Why must I endure this?" Yet imagine the transformation that could occur if you momentarily suspended that question and instead quietly asked yourself, "What possibilities arise from this situation? How might I forge something meaningful from these circumstances?" For every obstacle, every devastating loss, every crushing disappointment serves as merely an unopened gateway awaiting discovery. Embracing life proves effortless when circumstances align perfectly with our desires, when our strategies unfold seamlessly, when others champion our efforts, when tomorrow appears crystal clear and promising. Yet what unfolds when existence delivers an unexpected blow, when opportunities vanish, when trusted allies abandon us, when carefully laid strategies crumble to dust? During such moments, we believe all is lost. We label it defeat. We declare it unjust. However, it represents something entirely different. It signifies a restart, a fresh commencement wearing the mask of tragedy. Something needed to shatter so that something else might emerge. Yet we seldom perceive it through this lens. We remain too occupied mourning the vision that perished, too consumed with clutching onto what we believed was destined. What escapes our awareness is that development lacks courtesy. It doesn't request permission and wait patiently. It bursts through barriers. Occasionally, it strips away everything secure and recognizable simply so we might discover how to construct something superior. One obstacle doesn't represent the conclusion of your journey. It marks the commencement of an alternative route, one you hadn't previously contemplated. Perhaps that's the pathway you were always meant to traverse. Consider the most influential individuals you respect. Their narratives aren't linear progressions. They're filled with interruptions, collapses, defeats, yet those instances didn't annihilate them. Those were precisely the junctures where their transformed selves began emerging. This isn't about denying that obstacles cause pain. Naturally they do, yet you can experience anguish while reconstructing. You can weep while beginning anew. You can feel shattered while still harboring the essence of your recovery within. Certain fresh starts masquerade as failures. That employment denial might have compelled you to chase the aspiration you'd relegated to secondary importance. That relationship's conclusion might have provided the opportunity and freedom to finally mend yourself. That monetary setback might have ignited the concept that evolved into your future enterprise. Every obstacle contains multiple dimensions. Beneath the anguish, a teaching moment, an inspiration, a possibility always exists. We frequently anticipate a signal to recommence, yet the obstacle itself is that signal. The cosmos declares, this iteration of your existence has concluded. You're prepared for what follows. Don't attempt to resurrect the previous chapter, compose a fresh one. You weren't meant to remain static. Those who recover from obstacles aren't more powerful than you. They simply demonstrate greater willingness to view the challenge as an entrance. They elect to inquire, what possibilities exist now, rather than why must I suffer? They recognize that creation doesn't commence when circumstances are favorable. It begins when you're left with nothing except the determination to attempt again. When life next forces you downward, don't hurry to repair everything. Simply pause. Inhale and question yourself, what lesson does this obstacle offer? What might I construct from this experience? Which aspect of myself awaits emergence now? The reality is, nothing fresh commences without something familiar concluding. Sometimes the most agonizing endings merely initiate your authentic narrative. Discomfort isn't something we pursue. It's something we attempt to evade at any cost. We structure our existence around comfort, comfortable patterns, familiar companions, predictable results. We desire security. We crave tranquility. Nothing is inherently wrong with these wishes. Yet we overlook that everything we take pride in, everything we remember, everything that genuinely transformed our lives emerged from discomfort. That sensation of uneasiness, of uncertainty about what follows, of standing at the threshold of something unknown, that's the realm where development commences and creativity awakens. During comfortable periods, you remain motionless. You don't question circumstances. You follow established patterns. Yet when life creates discomfort, when systems fail, when individuals disappoint you, when strategies collapse, that's when your mind begins functioning. That's when your heart opens. You start posing different questions. You start envisioning different possibilities. You start creating not from desire, but from necessity. Innovation doesn't emerge from inhabiting a flawless environment with perfect solutions. It arises from complicated questions. It springs from restless intellects and dysfunctional systems and individuals who've grown weary of waiting. Most global breakthroughs originated from frustrated people, trapped people, people who heard rejection repeatedly. That discomfort transformed into their motivation. It propelled them toward fresh thinking methods. It compelled them to discover an entrance where others perceived only barriers. Reflect on your own existence. The achievements you're most proud of, did they come effortlessly? Or did they materialize after nights of uncertainty? After you stumbled and rose again? After you sat in silence wondering whether you possessed adequate capability? That discomfort, that chest tightness, that stomach tension, that wasn't weakness. That was the sound of something fresh attempting birth within you. We're taught to pursue success, yet nobody explains that success typically hides behind discomfort. It exists in the difficult conversation you're avoiding. It resides in the new ability you fear acquiring. It dwells in the choice you keep postponing because it frightens you. Until you embrace discomfort, you'll continue walking in circles. You'll keep repeating identical days with different dates. Discomfort isn't your adversary, it's your invitation. It's existence's method of drawing you toward the next chapter. The longer you resist it, the longer you postpone your development. Growth doesn't request your consent. It demands your acceptance. It asks you to cease pretending you understand everything. It asks you to trust the journey even when it's incomprehensible. The most creative individuals worldwide aren't fearless. They simply learn to befriend discomfort. They stopped anticipating the perfect moment. They chose to appear when it felt awkward, when it was unfamiliar, when it felt uncomfortable. That made the crucial difference. You cannot create something fresh while constantly clinging to safety. You cannot advance while always looking backward. Sometimes discomfort simply indicates you're alive, you're trying, you're about to transform into a new version of yourself. You don't need to feel prepared. You merely need to willingly sit in uncertainty long enough for something powerful to emerge. Pain is something we all flee from. We mask it, distract ourselves, pretend we're fine, move forward too hastily, or bury it so deeply we forget its location. Yet pain doesn't vanish simply because we ignore it. It lingers, it persists, and if we pay attention, it can transform into something entirely different. Pain possesses a peculiar ability to eliminate noise, burning away the superfluous, leaving only what genuinely matters. It strips you bare, yet it also sharpens you. Within that sharp, uncomfortable ache lies an opportunity to reimagine your identity and capabilities. We're told pain signifies weakness, that it should be concealed, that it must be resolved quickly. Yet some pain isn't meant for solving. It's meant for experiencing. It's meant to remain with you until it reveals what requires changing. Pain is honest. It doesn't deceive. It indicates what's broken, what's missing, what you've been avoiding. It forces you to stop pretending. It compels you to examine your life without filters. Sometimes pain is the only force strong enough to break the cycle. You were performing identical actions daily, living an existence too confined for your spirit, accepting less than you deserved. Then pain arrived. Perhaps it was loss, perhaps betrayal, perhaps just a gradual realization that something was wrong. Suddenly you couldn't pretend anymore. Suddenly you had to question yourself. What do I truly desire? Who am I genuinely trying to become? What must end so that something better can begin? This isn't about romanticizing pain or pretending it's easy. It's not. Some pain leaves marks. Some pain alters your entire being, your entire worldview. Yet even then, it offers something. A fresh perspective, a new path forward, a new layer of depth. You begin noticing what previously escaped your attention. You begin caring differently. You begin creating from a place that's not merely about success, but about authenticity. Individuals who've navigated through pain don't speak identically. They don't dream identically. Their words carry greater weight because they've experienced the silence of being overlooked. Their concepts carry more power because they originate from survival, from healing, from reconstruction. Pain grants access to a part of yourself that joy alone cannot reach. During painful periods, your imagination becomes a lifeline. You begin envisioning something better because remaining static is no longer viable. In that act of imagining, a new version of you begins forming. One that's more resilient, more compassionate, one that understands creating something new isn't merely a privilege. It's essential. Pain reminds you that life is brief, that you lack time for things that drain your spirit, that your time, your voice, your energy matters. Once you feel that urgency, you stop seeking permission. You stop pursuing perfection. You start building. You start expressing. You start becoming, not because everything is fine, but because it's not. Because something within you refuses to let the story conclude here. Pain breaks you open, yet it also clears the path. It creates space for your authentic self to emerge. In that emergence, you begin reimagining possibilities. Not just for yourself, but for your surrounding world. Pain shows you what matters. Once you understand that you cannot return to your previous self, growth doesn't occur in the comfort zone. It never has. When you're surrounded by familiarity, when your days appear identical, when nothing challenges you, you might feel secure. Yet you're not growing. You're merely surviving. You're repeating. That might suffice temporarily, yet deep down you know something more awaits you. Something that will only appear when you step into the unknown. The comfort zone feels warm, yet it's also where dreams fall asleep. You don't take risks. You don't reach. You tell yourself stories like perhaps next year, or I'm not prepared yet, because remaining where you are seems easier. Yet every time you choose easy, you postpone the version of yourself trying to emerge. Growth begins when you're willing to be uncomfortable. When you enter a room where you're not the most knowledgeable person. When you accept things that frighten you. When you admit you don't know yet, but you're ready to learn. Something powerful occurs when you stretch yourself. You become aware of your own resistance. You notice how fear communicates. You catch the excuses you've been making. Instead of fleeing from them, you confront them. You listen. You begin separating your voice from the noise in your head. You begin understanding the difference between real danger and imagined fear. Outside the comfort zone, everything feels magnified. The risk seems larger, the judgment sounds louder, yet so does the reward. So does the clarity, so does the confidence. You don't become brave by staying where it's safe. You become brave by choosing movement, by appearing in new spaces, speaking up when your voice trembles, trying again after you fall. Growth isn't glamorous. It's messy. It's awkward. It's full of moments where you doubt yourself, where you feel lost, where you wish you could return. Yet going back means repeating. You're not here to repeat. You're here to evolve. You're here to discover your true capabilities. The only way to achieve that is by crossing the line that fear keeps drawing around your life. You don't need to take giant leaps. Growth can begin with a small shift. A conversation you've been avoiding. A decision you've been delaying. A risk that keeps whispering to you at night. Every time you say yes to the unfamiliar, you expand your world. You stretch your limits. You realize you're not as fragile as you thought. That fear didn't kill you. That failure didn't destroy you. That rejection didn't define you. There's a version of you on the other side of fear that you haven't met yet. Someone wiser, stronger, more aware. That version is only waiting for one thing: your willingness to step forward. You won't feel ready. You won't have everything figured out. That's not how growth works. You learn as you go. You get stronger in motion. You build courage by doing. Everything you admire in others was built outside their comfort zones. The courage, the wisdom, the talent, it was shaped in the fire of effort, discomfort, and persistence. You're no different. You have that same potential. Yet potential means nothing if it's never used. If you always choose what's easy, if you never challenge the life you've settled for, you owe it to yourself to grow beyond your excuses, to move toward the life that scares you a little, because that's usually the life that matters the most. Growth begins when you stop protecting your comfort and start protecting your purpose. When you trade certainty for curiosity, when you let go of control and choose courage instead. Nobody likes it when the plan fails. We invest so much time trying to control outcomes, mapping everything step by step, convincing ourselves that if we just do things correctly, everything will fall into place. Sometimes it does, yet often life doesn't follow your script. The job you counted on disappears. The relationship you trusted breaks. The project you poured your heart into collapses. Suddenly you're left with silence, with disappointment, with a blank space where the plan used to be. It feels like failure, like you took a wrong turn somewhere, like you're starting over. Yet that blank space isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of something different, something you never would have created if the plan had proceeded smoothly. When the plan fails, something unexpected happens. You're forced to think, really think, not just follow a path, but ask if it was even your path to begin with. You start questioning what you wanted and why you wanted it. You begin listening to that quiet voice inside that has been drowned out by deadlines and checklists and other people's expectations. That voice has been waiting for space, and now the failure has given you that space. Creativity doesn't thrive in a tight box. It needs breath. It needs space to move. It needs disruption. When the plan falls apart, it creates a rupture in your routine. Suddenly you're not on autopilot anymore. You're awake. You're uncomfortable. You're paying attention. That's where creativity lives, in the tension, in the uncertainty, in the moment where you stop trying to fix the plan and start asking what else is possible. Some of the most powerful ideas are born in these moments, not in perfect conditions, but in broken ones. Not when you feel in control, but when you feel lost. That's when your mind starts to explore, to wander, to imagine. You start considering options that you never saw before simply because the old route is no longer available. Necessity opens the door to innovation. Pain opens the door to honesty. Failure opens the door to reinvention. The world is full of people who created incredible things not in spite of failure, but because of it. They wrote books after being rejected. They built businesses after losing jobs. They found their purpose after losing their direction. Their creativity didn't come after success. It came in the middle of uncertainty when the old way stopped working, and the only way forward was to build something new. Letting go of the plan is terrifying. It makes you feel like you have nothing to hold on to. Yet that emptiness is also full of potential. You're no longer bound by the limits of what you thought should happen. You can explore what could happen. You're free to dream again, not from a place of control, but from a place of truth. What do you really want? Who are you when the titles are stripped away? What matters now that the noise is gone? This is where your creativity finds its power. Not when things are certain, but when you have to figure it out from scratch. You stop copying and start creating. You stop chasing and start listening. You stop trying to impress and start expressing. What comes from that place is more authentic, more real, more aligned with who you are. The failed plan was never a punishment, it was a push, a gentle, sometimes painful push toward the deeper part of yourself that you had forgotten, toward the idea that had been sitting quietly in the back of your mind, toward the life that is waiting to be built by your own hands, not by someone else's blueprint. Most people never discover how strong they actually are, not because they are weak, but because life has not yet demanded that kind of strength from them. Strength is not something you find when things are going your way. It doesn't show up when everything is calm and predictable. It shows up when you are tested, when everything feels like it is falling apart, when you are standing in the ruins of what you thought would last, and the only thing left is you. That is the moment you meet the version of yourself that was always there, quiet, waiting, hidden under layers of doubt and fear. We do not like hard seasons. We call them unfair, painful, even cruel. Yet they are also revealing. They show us who we are when there is nothing to hide behind. They strip away the masks. When problems show up, they do not just disrupt our plans. They reveal our patterns, how we think, how we respond, what we believe we are capable of. The problem does not create your strength. It exposes it. The strength was already there. You just did not know it yet. Most people walk through life never tapping into their full capacity. They play small. They stay comfortable. They do not challenge themselves unless they are forced to. Problems do that. They force you. You do not get to avoid the hard thing anymore. You have to face it. You have to adapt. You have to push through. In doing that, you discover that you are capable of more than you thought. Strength is not loud. It does not always look like confidence or power. Sometimes strength is just getting out of bed when you do not want to. It is telling the truth when lying would be easier. It is starting again when you are tired of beginning. It is asking for help when pride tells you to suffer silently. Strength is not a moment. It is a choice, and problems give you the opportunity to make that choice again and again. You never know how far you can go until you are pushed. The push almost never feels gentle. It feels like heartbreak, like failure, like betrayal. Yet hidden in that discomfort is a door. You step through it, and suddenly you are doing things you never imagined. Solving problems you thought were too big. Holding emotions you thought would break you. Leading when you felt lost. Healing when you thought you were beyond repair. Some of the strongest people are not the ones who look like they have it all together. They are the ones who have fallen apart and still found a way to keep going. They carry scars, yet they also carry wisdom. Because every time life knocked them down, they learned something about resilience, about patience, about grace. Every time they got back up, they carried a little more of that strength with them. Strength is not about being unshakable. It is about being willing to shake and still keep standing. It is about staying present in the chaos, about breathing through the fear, about not needing to have all the answers to keep moving forward. When you stop trying to avoid the hard things and start meeting them with open hands, you grow. You expand. You realize that strength is not something you wait for. It is something you activate. Your strength does not show up when things are perfect. It shows up when you are tired, uncertain, afraid, and you still choose to move. You still choose to believe that something better is coming, that you are not done yet, that there is more inside you than anyone sees, that your story does not end in the problem. It begins in your response to it. Chaos is usually something we try to escape. It feels messy, loud, unpredictable. It makes us anxious because we are taught that control equals safety. We believe that the more we organize, plan, and manage every detail, the better things will be. Yet, when we look back at the most transformative moments in our lives, they were rarely calm or controlled. They were the moments when everything fell apart, when the structure broke down, when the old routine could not hold us anymore. In the middle of that chaos, something new began to take shape, something we did not plan, something we could not have created if life had stayed neat and orderly. Creation needs space. Oddly enough, chaos makes that space. It removes what is unnecessary. It breaks apart what is too rigid. It shakes us out of our habits. When everything is stable, we stick to what we know. We do not experiment. We do not question. We do not innovate. Yet when things stop working, when we are forced to rebuild, that is when creativity comes alive. The rules are broken. The expectations are gone. There is room to try something new, because the old way is no longer an option. People often wait for perfect conditions to start something meaningful. They wait until life feels calm, until the path is clear, until the timing is right. Yet creation does not wait for peace. It thrives in the unknown. It finds energy in the urgency, in the tension, in the discomfort. Some of the most brilliant ideas are born when people feel backed into a corner, when there is no plan B, when the only way forward is to make something from nothing. Chaos forces you to get honest. You have to decide what really matters, what you are willing to fight for, what you are ready to let go of. In that process, you uncover a kind of raw truth that cannot be accessed when everything is smooth. You begin to create from a deeper place, not to impress others, but to survive, to express, to rebuild something real. That kind of creation has power. It has soul. It touches people because it was born from fire, not from comfort. When life spins out of control, you learn that control was never the point. You learn to trust yourself more, to listen to your instincts, to be flexible, to adapt, to let things unfold. Creativity is not about perfection. It is about presence, being present enough in the moment to respond with heart instead of fear, being present enough to notice the possibility hiding inside the problem, being present enough to take the next step even if the path ahead is unclear. Some people avoid chaos their entire lives and wonder why they never built anything meaningful. Others walk straight into the storm, not because they enjoy the struggle, but because they understand what it can produce. They are not afraid of messy beginnings. They are not waiting for certainty. They are creating in real time with real pain, with real passion. That is why what they build has impact. You do not need a perfect plan to start creating. You just need to accept that chaos is part of the process. It is not the enemy of creation. It is the spark, the rupture, the fertile ground where something new can grow. When you let go of the need to control everything, you start to find your rhythm in the chaos. You start to trust your own voice more than the noise around you. You start to create not because it is easy, but because you must, because something inside you refuses to be silenced by the storm, because something inside you knows that even in the mess there is meaning. Even in the fall, there is flight. Most people spend their lives searching for answers outside themselves. They read more books, take more courses, follow more people, hoping that someone out there will finally give them the key, the one strategy, the one formula, the one secret that will unlock their potential and fix everything. Yet, no matter how much they consume, something still feels missing, because the truth is the solution they are waiting for is not out there. It never was. It is inside them, buried beneath doubt, fear, and the belief that they are not enough. The moment you stop looking outward for permission and begin listening inward for direction, everything changes. Inside you is a compass. It may not speak loudly. It may not always make sense to others, yet it knows. It knows what you are drawn to. It knows what you are meant to build. It knows when something feels wrong, even if everyone says it is right. Yet, most people silence that compass. They trade it for validation, for rules, for fitting in. They convince themselves that someone else must know better. Yet your life is not a copy-paste template. It requires your voice, your vision, your way. You do not need to be perfect to find the answer. You do not need to have everything figured out. You just need to get quiet enough to hear yourself think. Most of the time it is not clarity we lack. It is courage. The courage to trust our own instincts. The courage to act on our own ideas. The courage to believe that we already have what we need to take the first step. You do not need to be an expert. You need to be honest. Honest about what is calling you. Honest about what is not working anymore. Honest about the truth you are tired of denying. The solution is often simple, yet simplicity scares us. It feels too obvious, too personal, too quiet. We are conditioned to think that real solutions must be complicated, must come with a certificate or a logo or a shiny promise. Yet the real solution is the one that feels like peace, like alignment, like relief. It is the path that asks you to return to yourself, to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. Even in your darkest moments, you still carry that solution. Even when you feel lost, it is still there waiting for you to listen. The pain you are feeling might be the very thing pointing you toward it. The frustration you cannot shake might be trying to guide you. The idea you keep dismissing might be the one thing you are meant to bring into the world. The solution is not always in the form of a plan. Sometimes it is a shift, a perspective, a decision to stop waiting and start becoming. When you stop outsourcing your power and start trusting your process, you begin to move differently. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions. You stop trying to be like everyone else. You begin creating from a place of truth, not comparison. What you create from that place has depth. It has energy. It has soul because it came from within you. Not from a checklist, but from a conviction. Every time you doubt yourself, remind yourself that no one has lived your life. No one has felt what you have felt. No one carries your specific blend of insight, experience, and vision. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not waiting for someone else to save you. You are the solution. You are the idea. You are the beginning of something new. You do not need to know how it will all unfold. You just need to begin. You just need to believe that what is inside you is not only valid, it is valuable. It is needed. It is enough.